All right, everybody, what's going on? I'm here today with Mark from Dominion Cigars. If you guys haven't heard of Dominion Cigars, they're one of the first true, authentic Canadian boutique brands that brought premium cigars to the Canadian market. Their staple, the Black Lotus, back in 2014, they worked with one of the main premium factories out of Honduras, from Rocky Patel to Alec Bradley, and I believe Ralph, who also blends a lot of cigars from all these other premium brands that we mentioned. So we're gonna have Mark with us here for a little while. He's gonna talk about a brief overview as to how Dominion got started, how they were able to succeed in the Canadian market, what their cigars are about, and if you haven't tried them, what makes this cigar different for you, and to add it to your humidor. So Mark, thanks for stopping by
My
today.
pleasure. Nice to be here and take part in your podcast. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into it because you guys have an awesome collection of cigars, starting with the Black Lotus Maduro. That's the one that I think everyone is mainly familiar with, and that's what propelled us to reach out to you guys and get these in our humidors ASAP.
Right.
So, can you tell us anything about the Black Lotus? Any of the distinctive features, and what would make a customer want to add it to his humidor?
So the Black Lotus Natural was the first cigar that our owner Steve Ricker ever developed.
Yep.
Steve personally handles the blending of every one of our cigars. He works in conjunction with some of the master blenders at the various factories we use.
Yep.
In the case of um, the Black Lotus Natural, it's done at Tabacos de Lorente.
Yep.
Both the natural and the Maduro are done there. It is obviously the Maduro I would call a full body.
Yeah.
The natural, and this is where, we could debate all, what may be a medium for me
Yeah.
might be what
Might
a
not be.
Maduro smoker
Yeah.
is going to call it a light, right?
Exactly.
But
And
I would throw the Black Lotus kind of in the in the medium-ish
yeah.
range.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a true medium.
It's definitely got a lot of overpowering notes to it from my experience when I first smoked it,
Right,
right? It,
right,
it
right.
is it is
Are
an
we talking about
exceptionally
the Maduro
the
or
well, the Maduro for me. I'm strictly a fan of Maduro
Right,
wrappers.
right,
Yeah.
right. So you like them strong, yeah. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
the Maduro definitely
Yeah.
carries a kick, and I think what's doing it for you is the San Andreas wrapper
Yeah, the San
is
Andreas
giving you a
wrapper.
nice kick in the butt, and then you've got the Sumatra Honoran, and
Mm.
you're gonna have to pardon my Spanish pronunciation. It's awful. And then it's a Nicaraguan filler,
Yeah.
and I think the Steve really did a nice job of bringing it all together. Steve, with some of our other cigars, you'll see he's not afraid to try new things. He's
Yep.
not afraid to experiment. The process of developing a new cigar, for Steve, is something that he takes with a very high degree of passion.
Yeah.
And he spends a lot of time down there when he's working, depending on where it's being assembled. He spends a lot of time in that factory,
Absolutely.
working long hours and long days so that he can bring the best possible product to the Canadian market.
And just to verify, Steve here is the owner of the brand, right?
Steve Rickers started Dominion Cigars, I believe we're coming up on 9 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Black Lotus was our original release. That was
Yeah.
our flagship cigar at the time.
Yeah.
And just a footnote, if you look in your humidor and you've got the original Black Lotus with the two bands,
Yes.
you're sitting on a cigar that was probably made in 2014.
I remember when I first came across the Black Lotus, it had an outstanding eye-catching label to it.
The bands are,
The
to me,
band, yeah, and it's unfortunate. Can you tell us why some brands no longer put the bands, like the original, underneath the green ones?
you mean some manufacturers?
Yeah, the
I
manufacturers.
think coming out of the gate, and I don't want to be critical of any manufacturer.
Yeah,
Even ourselves were, you really have to wade into all the various legislations and everything
yeah,
of
yeah,
plain packaging.
yeah,
Um, so we did our homework. We made sure that our bands are fully compliant now.
yeah,
So that the original band is still underneath. Whereas I think initially people thought that you can't, you just got to go with the
yeah,
green band at all.
yeah.
The other tragedy for me, Yusuf, is these boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, no, but truly, I don't know if you ever saw the original Black Lotus
I
boxes.
have not. It's a shame because
Stunning,
I think of the
absolutely
band,
stunning.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Well,
and that's kind of what really caught my eye when I came.
yeah,
I was just a young kid,
sure, sure.
and at the time, I didn't really
So
know
young, it's
much.
young kids like you why we
Yeah,
got plain
it's the
packaging now.
graphic. Yeah. And the graphic of the design of the
Yeah,
band is
yeah,
what was
yeah.
really appealing,
I
right?
couldn't
And
agree with you more.
a lot of our customers, they strictly look for illustrative, eye-catching bands to add to their collection.
Yep, you're preaching to
So
the choir. I
when I
mean,
was under the impression of getting the Black Lotus, we definitely were hoping for that. It's unfortunate that it's not as like it's not a fault for any of the brand owners at the manufacturers, right? If they decide to do it at their expense, as if I believe, right? Like
well,
they
no,
do it at their own expense.
a manufacturer can definitely request double banding. I mean,
Yeah.
there's obviously added expense to that.
Yeah, yeah. It's at the
You know,
manufacturer's expense or at the brand's expense.
oh, it's always at the everything's at the brand's expense.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
whoever's ordering, you know, it's no different than you going and buying a car and wanting to add an option. Sure, we can do
Yeah.
that for you, but you're
Yeah,
gonna
you
pay. You're
pay
gonna pay.
extra. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So, in the case of the Black Lotus, I mean, as you know, you know, there's a lot of foil used in that band. That drives up the price of the labels. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure Steve would say that the banding that we use for Black Lotus is probably the most expensive of all the bands. Although Uncle Charlie to me has got a ridiculously cool band.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you can see that,
Is that where
but
is that
that's the
the Uncle
band.
Can we
Charlie?
get a shirt like that?
You can order them right from me, buddy, and I'll hook you up. Um, and then also, I find that the band on the new Kingpin, just incredible graphics, you know. Um,
So the Kingpin here definitely has the band underneath.
100%.
Okay, yeah, let's have a look at that. I actually
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
Oh,
I
you
haven't
haven't?
seen it.
Okay,
I
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
not, yeah. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
So I
So
would
this is
say
pretty exciting.
start from about the middle of the band and start to gently peel it away, okay?
Yeah.
And to be conformant, yep, there you go.
Yeah, let's see what it looks like.
Yep.
I think a lot of our customers that yeah, this is coming out a little bit, if but it will fix itself. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
it is.
so I think a lot of our customers would find this interesting right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see an up close to it or whatnot, but this is what appears to be an old man. He has a cigar out of his mouth and a gun. And I think that's representative of a lot of like the face of brands nowadays. They kind of go for that, sorry,
Well,
that
you know,
classic
listen,
image of like an
it
old,
also takes you back to, you know, the old Batman cartoons where you
yeah,
had the caricature type, you know, like big gangsters and bad guys and everything like that.
yeah,
And this is the Kingpin. He's the head guy.
yeah.
He's got his gun and he's ready
That's
to
the
go.
Kingpin. Now, when we first inquired about the Kingpin, and you told us a distinctive feature of the Kingpin that kind of incentivizes us to place the order, and that is the wrapper.
Yes,
The
so it's a
wrapper, it's a
Brazilian,
rare wrapper.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
very rare wrapper. It's a Brazilian hybrid, and if I'm not mistaken, I only know of one other cigar that it's being used to produce. Um, and again, you know, we've done a very good, and I'll circle back to what we're trying to offer guys like you and your valued business. So we try and use the best possible ingredients out there,
of
right?
course, yes, like any other
But at
premium
the
brand
same
should.
time, you know, there's only so many tobaccos you can choose from,
Yeah,
right? So to sort of be unique and stand out, you know, you've got to take some risks. You've got to take some, you know, do some experiments.
of course, of course.
So with the Brazilian hybrid wrapper, the binder is Dominican Olar, and the filler is a mix of Nicaraguan, Dominican, and Ecuadorian. But what I find about the Kingpin when you smoke it, because there's not an abundance of other cigars out there using this wrapper, you pick up on notes that you know me. You know, I'm not. I say maybe 15 years I've been smoking. You know, very regular. For me, it was like the first time I'm ever tasting this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, you know. And then you take, you know, 24 to 48 hours to say, do I like it? I'm not sure. You know what I mean? It's like trying new food, right? And then I had my second one maybe 2 weeks later, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yes, I like this very,
You
very
like this
much.
very
Yeah, I
much?
love it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
and I definitely see that happening a lot working as a retailer, where a lot of customers can kind of relate to that. And I believe it's because sometimes when a beginning, like a beginner smoker is just getting into it, It's different than when a person has been smoking for over like say a decade like yourself and has really honed his palate. And that's when you can really pick up on distinctive properties of the cigar, these flavor
Absolutely.
notes.
Absolutely.
Whereas like okay, now you have the capability to distinguish
Yes.
that very subtle flavor note that kind of brings an acquired taste to the cigar.
You're absolutely right. I
And a
couldn't
lot of
agree
a
with you
lot of
more.
customers, for example, like a beginner smoker is not gonna smoke a Kingpin and be like, wow, a Cubra wrapper from Brazil. This is such a distinctive property. But a person like myself, for example, I've been smoking just about over 5 years, uh, getting more on a daily basis now. I'll smoke this soon and I'll pay extra particular attention to it.
Yeah.
And I can almost bet you, like, I would probably pick up a few distinct notes just because you mentioned the distinctive properties it
Right.
has.
And you'll probably pick up some notes that you haven't ever smoked before or tasted on your tongue
That's what
before,
brings
right?
the joy
And
behind
that's
smoking cigars. Yeah.
exactly. And like
Yeah.
you hit on it really well with, evolving as a
Yeah.
cigar smoker, right?
Yeah.
Like when I started smoking cigars, I was smoking Cubans and what I would deem very light cigars.
Yeah.
Perdomos,
Perdomos, yeah, the
Perdomo Lot
champagne
20, the
anniversary.
Lot 23,
Yeah,
so on and so
very, yeah.
forth.
For me, that's becoming more of a
Right.
mild cigar as I
It's
gradually
very
start
much
to
a mild,
smoke
yeah,
more.
it's very much a mild cigar.
Yeah.
But then as my palate evolved, you get into cigars that may offer more complexity, right?
So, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
So, when Steve first started out his brand, did he think to himself, okay, well, I like more of a stronger taste. I'm gonna lean towards a Honduran or Nicaraguan type tobacco. Is that what kind of propelled him to
No,
go that
no, no,
direction?
no. I'll be honest
How
with
do
you.
you really narrow down where you want to start as a brand owner?
Well, I think, and you got to remember the first cigar was not the Maduro Black Lotus, it was the natural.
The natural, yeah.
So I think what Steve was trying to offer the general public was a cigar that could universally be accepted, right? It's like if you're a band, it's your first record, right? I mean, you got to hit it on your first record. So the Black Lotus, the natural, was just a fantastic success in Canada. And then obviously from there, the next step was, guys were saying, I like the Lotus, but it'd be neat if we could do it in Maduro.
In
And
a
that's
Maduro, and that's where people like me kind of picked up the Black Lotus when it came to that
yeah,
Maduro. I look at it now,
yeah,
guys. It has this sweet, oily, dark, attractive wrapper. 6x52 Toro size we carry in our shop. This has probably been our best selling Black Lotus, but I think that's only because a lot of people aren't really familiar with the Kingpin yet. When the Kingpin starts becoming more popularized, you guys are gonna start to see the distinctive qualities between these two cigars. They kind of bounce off each other as one is a more of a overpowering but subtly sweet cigar. This one, as far as I've been told, is a bit more of a leathery, earthy tone to it. It smokes like a premium cigar nonetheless, but it might not be your preferred taste, like flavor profile. That's completely up to you to decide. But but it comes to me personally, I'm always gonna go with the Black Lotus
right.
Maduro.
That's your
This is the kind of
wheelhouse.
one,
Yep,
yeah, that's
yep.
the made me
So
fall in
you're
love with the
probably
Dominion
you're
brand.
probably liking, the Padron Maduros.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
up my alley.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I have a couple in my humidor. I got as a gift
Yeah, yeah,
recently.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what I do basically, the way I approach, let's say it's Saturday, it's a beautiful day outside, and it's one of those days where there's no honey-do lists of chores to do. Wake up, have a little breakfast, start the morning with a milder stick. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I
yeah.
might reach for a Cuban, I might reach for our Flor de Claro, I might reach for our
Ah, yeah. The
our Dominion.
Flor de Claro was the follow up to the Black Lotus shortly after 2014, correct?
Correct, correct. Or
Yes, yes.
I might reach for a Cuban, just a mild one.
A
Then
Cuban one. Yeah.
as the day progresses, then I'd probably be the Kingpin. I'd probably be in my well because I consider the Kingpin a true medium.
Yeah, but I haven't, like I said, I never smoked it before, but based on the qualities, like the characteristics that you're describing to me, it has that Brazilian wrapper, but also three fillers inside of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Nicaraguan, Dominican, what was the third one again?
Oh, let me hear. I got a cheat.
I can kind of read off that.
Ecuadorian.
Ecuadorian.
Yeah,
I don't really see too much
that's
Ecuadorian
my point.
fillers,
That's
right?
my point with
That's
Steve,
where
right?
it's not gonna, guys, the filler isn't really gonna make the bulk of the taste, but it will have some sort of influence as the overall trajectory of the cigar. When you talk about an Ecuadorian filler, it's gonna definitely bring you that distinctive quality that you don't really find in other medium bodied blends. So the Kingpin is definitely something, if you're an acquired taste smoker and you've been smoking a long time, this is something you should highly consider. Just for these simplicities that make up the overall value of the cigar. You guys got to really factor in like what makes this cigar truly special, and that's something that the Kingpin, something that makes it stand out. Not just the ultra rare wrapper they take from Brazil, but also the filler from Ecuador. It's not really heard of too often in the cigar industry.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Yeah,
I would agree, and like I say, I think I have to tip my hat to Steve. He's not
yeah,
afraid to take risks.
yeah,
He's not, he puts his money where his mouth is. He's
yep.
very, very customer. He listens to people, right?
When you say not afraid to take risks, are you referring to investing money to source the tobacco?
Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
that's a given. And no, I mean with his blends.
with his blends, right?
He
He's bold. He wants to try that new blend that's gonna be like a
Well, he
new.
wants to develop cigars that stand
Yeah,
alone,
yeah,
right? Like I can honestly say, we all do this, right? We'll smoke a cigar and go, yeah, I like this. It's very much like an Oliva this or this, or
yeah,
it reminds me of a this or this. There's not many cigars, if any, in the entire Dominion collection
yeah.
where I will smoke one and go, oh, it reminds me of. There just isn't.
It has its
For
own
me,
unique properties, right?
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for my palate, and that's what
yeah.
I really respect about Steve's
Yeah,
abilities.
and this is honestly a true experience of mine. When I smoked the Black Lotus Maduro, there's not many cigars that can compare. It's like when you think of an overpowering Maduro wrapper, you don't think of a subtle sweetness to it.
Right.
But what brings it that unique feature is that little kick
Yep.
behind it, that subtle sweetness to it, and it kind of like
Yep.
raisiny, nutty flavor. It's kind
Yep.
of what I get when I smoke out of the Black
I
Lotus
agree. I
Maduro.
agree. And listen, I'm going to have to revisit the Black Lotus Maduro
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
contrary to popular belief, cigar reps don't get all their cigars for free. So I do
Well,
have.
neither do retailers,
I know. I
right?
hear you. Right. Like you guys can't just go into a box and.
Yeah, you start cutting into our supply here.
So I'm no different than John Q. Public.
Yeah,
I have to visit cigar stores and, but the Maduro is definitely one I need to revisit. I haven't smoked one in a year or so,
yeah.
but I do enjoy it. But I don't know if you guys have stocked any. I'd just like to talk briefly about the barber.
The barber, we have not had a chance to
Well,
pick up the barber.
you need to correct that. So this is some call them barber pole, some call them a double wrap. Fantastic cigar. We're getting incredible. We launched it during the pandemic
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Not too long ago. Yeah,
without much fanfare,
yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah,
because stores were limited and shut down. Obviously, we couldn't do in-store promotions and things
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
But I hosted an event in Kitchener on Wednesday night of last week,
Lovely.
and I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that were coming to me. I mean,
Yeah,
just like you have your hardcore Black Lotus guys, and I fully expected all the compliments about Kingpin,
yeah.
but I was actually just really, I was surprised.
You were taken
Not
aback.
because I don't
Yeah,
think it's a great, yeah, taken aback is
yeah,
probably a better description.
yeah.
Not surprised because I love the barber. I smoke them like crazy. I'm
Yes,
probably
yes.
smoking more of those now than anything. But just to see that other guys were on board with
Yeah,
with what I was
yeah,
thinking, right?
yeah. So, well, what I can add to that is when we first announced that we're bringing Dominion cigars and Dominion portfolio, what I did personally, and as I always do when we bring in any other new cigar, I go reach out my social media, whether it's through email channels or Instagram, Facebook, and then also, of course, in person, our lovely customers that come in and out, take their input. You say, hey, a true cigar enthusiast is gonna know what a Dominion portfolio contains, right?
Correct, correct.
So I asked him like, well, what would you like to see from the Dominion brand? And the overwhelming, because at the time Kingpin wasn't out, right? And
Right.
it's still relatively recent.
Yep.
And you mentioned the Barber Pole was released during the pandemic, right? So it's of course it's been a while, but it hasn't been as longly established as the Black Lotus. So that's why the overwhelming majority, they said, honestly, I'm not too familiar with the other ones, but bring in the Black Lotus Maduro. And now I'm sure they would love to transition from the Black Lotus towards the Barber Pole, Uncle Charlie, which I haven't spoken too much of, but it does have its fan base. The Kingpin, which is slowly picking up now. It just launched, what, a couple months ago?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
we talked about the distinctive qualities of the Kingpin and whatnot. What I'm gonna tell you guys for this week is we're gonna do a little 15% off discount for anybody who hasn't tried off any of the Black Lotus. If you haven't tried any of the new Kingpin, whether it's the Robusto, which is a little 5x52, I believe it is, or
Yep.
the Toro size, which is a 6 inch. We got the Black Lotus and the Natural and Maduro and the Uncle Charlie's. So you can expect the barber post to be in soon. 15% off, guys. If you guys can't make to the shop, check out our online store, www.smokemastercigars.com. We do expedited delivery. That's 1 to 2 business days guaranteed. If your order is over $99, free shipping as well as thrown in there.
Wow, you can't beat that.
Yeah, it's extremely competitive.
Sorry, I've got it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the lighter as well. We'll be probably posting that on our website and Instagram. Guys, this is one of the best economically priced lighters that was brought to my attention today by my friend Mark. And it comes in different colors. We're gonna go over what options are available. But this one in particular has a 4-jet flame to it. So I'll show you guys, like, it's very powerful and it's pretty firm grip in your hand. It does the job quite well, and for the price point is what really makes it so competitive. What was it that they're doing the pricing?
So we market these and develop these under the Forge brand. That's Forge.
Yeah.
We are now selling them nationwide to good people like yourselves.
Yep.
And we have had a terrific response. Again, Steve has come up with some creative ideas to produce what I would call a luxury lighter at
Yep.
affordable prices.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
that definitely
Look,
this
look,
lighter.
I mean, this you
Let me hold that closer because this looks like a lot more expensive than what you'd be surprised when this gets in stock, the price point it will be selling at. I have a rough idea in my head right now. I want to say between $30 to $40 for a quadruple jet flame lighter and a premium torch, and this is probably one of the more durable options that's on the market available today.
Yeah, so this one comes, it comes in the brushed copper. It comes in a really cool carbon color, and I'm gapping on the final color. I think it's black. And then
Mm.
we also have a 5-jet lighter, which is a little bit bigger than this.
Those don't come around too often, guys.
No,
The 5-jet.
and not so big that you couldn't still throw it in your pocket or bag and take it with
Yeah.
you. And those come in black, blue, and red, and
Okay.
they're also a very sexy lighter.
Yep.
I'll get you some photos that
Yeah.
you can post up on your website.
Yeah, guys, we'll be restocking. If you're one of those smokers that have like a 7x70 or 6x60 Gordo, and you're out on the golf course, whatever is left of the season, and you struggle with the windiness of the golf course to light it up, you're looking for an overpowering, powerful lighter, such as the ones that Mark is providing right now. Whether it's a quadruple or 5-jet torch flame lighter, this is gonna do the job for you guys. Anytime outside, outdoors, it'll be just fine with
Just
these.
turn it around. The other thing that I don't know if I'm in the camera here, but
Yeah, you
the
are.
reservoir is massive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You will not be filling this thing after 4 or 5 cigars. You know what I'm saying? It's got a massive
Yeah.
reservoir.
Yeah. Speaking of the reservoir, yeah, it's good. It sees like the features where you can actually see like the measures, like how much you're filling up in the terms of the
Yeah,
butanes. Because
yeah.
a lot of times I'd be refilling, topping up torch. What we do at the shop is when you buy the lighter from us, you bring it back. If you don't have any butane, we top it up for free.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
we do it. So it's just about every day where I'm topping up,
Yeah.
butane lighters. And
Well, and you guys know how to purge them properly.
Yeah,
too. I
but-
find a lot of guys, geez, my lighter's not working. It's full. It's full. It's full. It's okay.
Yeah.
Purge it.
Yeah, but to finish my point is like what I find most of the time when I'm topping up the lighter, it's like, okay, well, I think it's full. It feels heavier. I can't really tell. The good thing about this one is you'll know when it's there, right? And you don't have to really be worrying about like jamming it up any longer than necessary. So yeah, guys, expect these in the near future. We'll be having multiple colors, different sizes. I mean, not different sizes, but different options in terms of the quantity of the jet flame. So this is quadruple, and we're gonna have a 5-jet flame as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, I don't think, guys, you're going to get a better price point, as you have said.
No, that's competitive pricing for sure.
It's crazy. For similar lighters, I spent close to $100 on them.
Yeah,
And you won't be anywhere near this.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming.
yeah,
I was doing an in-store event yesterday, and
Yep.
people were buying them up just for Christmas presents.
Absolutely.
For the cigar smokers in their life. It's a wonderful addition.
Yeah.
We also have, obviously, our own line of Dominion ashtrays and things like that.
yep.
We're starting to, there's been a demand where we are now starting to venture a little bit more into accessories.
Nice.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
because you walk into your buddy's house, you see a Dominion ashtray, and you go, "Oh, Dominion, never heard of
Well, you
them."
guys have some great branding behind a
Yes,
lot of your
right,
accessories. I
right,
look at the
right.
shirts, look at
Yes,
the different styles of
right, right,
cards that
right.
Mark was mentioning to me when like we have a QR code when you guys buy Dominion cigar, you can scan the QR code to read up more information of the on the cigar because a lot of times customers appreciate that backstory
Yeah,
and the origins of the cigar. And it's a lot more accessible and convenient when you just have a simple QR code instead of Googling and finding a reliable website that has reviewed that specific cigar and you can trust.
yeah.
Just go
So
straight to the source, guys. They provided you a QR code. It's for you to use at your own disposal. Just scan it and everything's available to you from there.
absolutely well said. So what we call them is the Dominion Box Talker, another wonderful invention of Steve's or creation, whichever word you'd like to apply.
Yep.
And they simply perch on the edge of the cigar box. I mean, your setup here is unique because you're multifaceted in your business.
Yep. Absolutely.
But for someone that is able just to walk into a humidor, they don't have to necessarily engage with staff. If, like, you're busy with a customer and you're checking a customer out, it gives the customer the ability to just scan the QR code, hypothetically on Kingpin. He'll be directed right to our website with all the tobaccos, all the blending notes,
Beautiful.
everything like that he
Beautiful.
wants. And
Yep.
even, if you've watched this podcast and you're still curious and we haven't covered enough points, or you've somehow nodded off while I'm talking, you can always go on to www.dominioncigar.com, and there is full breakdowns of everything, every
Yep.
cigar we make.
So you guys have the QR code to read up more on the cigar. When you want to go place the order for the cigar, we can provide you a QR code of ourselves. It'll take you straight to the page for Dominion Cigars. Like I announced before earlier, with the launch of our website, we're gonna have the Black Lotus, Uncle Charlie, Kingpin, and soon the Barber Pole. These are going to be 15% off for a limited time. If you guys want to try, like I mentioned before, our website will offer you expedited delivery, 1 to 2 business days. That's going to be guaranteed no matter how low or how high of a quantity of cigars you guys order. And if you decide to go over $100 of worth of Dominion cigars or any other cigar for that matter, that's going to be free shipping as well.
Wow.
So you get the 15% off. If you're somewhere in Ontario, you can't make to the shop, head to the website for expedited or even potentially free shipping, depending on how high of a quantity you order. And you can try any of the Dominion portfolio, Black Lotus, which we covered, the Kingpin, the newly released Kingpin, and soon the Barber Pole and a few others are going to be available as well. And with that being said, Mark, I don't know if you're taking up too much of your time here. I know you said you have a busy schedule today.
Yeah, I've got a few more
We,
friends and clients to go visit
Yeah,
today,
we
but,
appreciate you stopping by and
my
giving
pleasure.
us time of day.
Nice
It's
meeting.
been a pleasure,
Yeah,
guys.
and continued success.
Yep.
It looks like you guys are really on the right track.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
love the podcast.
Huge fan.
It's a great way to connect with your customers.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Get your
for sure.
brand out there. And
Yeah.
yeah, keep up the good work, and what we look forward to a long and happy relationship working with you all.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.